sorry.
It's amazing how much I hate you, Justin.
Gotta be me.
Yeah, you're you, all right.
Well,
You're you.
Sammy Davis over
I
He was over there, born by the river.
am. I was born by the river.
there.
Have you heard that beatbox version?
No.
Where they're like, I'll find it at some point and I'll send it to you. I can't do it justice.
Oh, dang.
But it was pretty good. It was talking a whole lot of ish, which I'm a fan of, you know.
Yeah.
So they turned "Born by a River" into a disc track. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
A little bit. Hey man, it's magic.
You know, diss tracks are coming back. I don't know. This whole what's it called? Kendrick Lamar and
I think it's fake.
oh, it's not fake because that motherfucker, what's his name? Drake. He been a little groomer. He I don't know. He been a little slightly pedo.
Yeah.
So he got. I mean, I'm sure it's not. Is
I don't.
What's his name isn't coming out of left field. Like, you know, there's.
I don't know. So what I think is that there's a whole lot of feeding of information.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like this is a record label trying to sell records, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was fake, I don't. Kendrick's hitting a little extra hard. Like, I don't know. This isn't like pro sumo, you know, or pro wrestling, like where you're like, oh, obviously the punches are fake. You're like, oh shit, he actually clocked that motherfucker.
I don't know.
I don't know. Have you heard the song?
Okay. All right. So this is the thing. I haven't heard the song, but I listened to the analyzing of the song.
Just listen to the song on Spotify.
I don't want to. I don't want to get down this rabbit hole of listening to new music. That's not where I'm at anymore. All right. I just want to listen to old music and live my happy life. And if there's anything new, it's like something experimental. That's it. I'm trying to live a very happy life. I got into jazz recently. You know, jazz is my jam.
Jazz is good. There is new jazz. Just so you know,
I know
there are a lot of and a lot of it's coming from the West Coast.
When I say new, I don't want new rap. I don't want new country per se. I don't want new pop music. Right? That's not what I want. I want something that makes me think.
Okay.
So what genre do you look at in jazz?
Ooh, see,
Like
I'm
time
such a
period
white
wise.
belt. I'm such a white belt right now. I'm literally whatever my friends are sending me. I'm like, all right, let's give it a whirl.
John Coltrane, sir. That is
John Coltrane.
Man, you don't even know.
Oh, you don't know
Coltrane
John Coltrane?
Woo!
I'm telling you.
You don't even got no stripes on your belt. So.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm a white belt of white belts.
He got
this is fun for me.
This is
it's the one that's when you tie it, it goes up. It's south and north. no, this way. It's like you're in kindergarten.
Yeah, I like about from the 20s to the early 70s myself.
Yeah, man, I can go.
I like a little quicker pace jazz. Personally,
I like a slower pace, and I tend to enjoy more so when the piano tends to take the lead, but also sometimes a tenor, like a tenor sax, like a John Coltrane, but I don't know, the faster, more like obscure stuff, especially when it comes to the trumpet. I'm just like, you might miss me with that shit. It's a little like when things are like super off timey. Like I get it.
Did you guys grow up with jazz in the house?
Yes, my dad was a jazz musician before he went to med school. But yeah, jazz has always been in the house.
Okay. Are you a fan of In a Sentimental Mood?
It is my number one favorite song. by John
I
Coltrane.
do love that song. Yeah.
Every time it rains, I put that record on. Every time it rains, it's just somehow it's a rainy day song. It's a perfect rainy day song.
Yeah, that's one of the slower ones that I like. So yeah. Yeah, but I listen to like Charles Mingus, Dizzy Gillespie.
Dizzy got some swing to him.
Yeah, you know, the old masters, some Simon Getz.
Yeah,
people.
I will say, of the like the off timing type of dudes, Thelonious Monk, I fuck with. Like I like his timing was like a little weird. It was like, you're just like, oh, all right, but I fuck with it. Yeah, you should write these. Thelonious Monk is good. Dizzy Gillespie.
I've listened to him, but this is the thing. I have everything recorded.
You gotta start buying records, man. If you're gonna,
I'm not buying records. I'm not gonna collect more things. I can't collect more things. I don't want any more things.
Understood.
Yeah, I'm done with things. Things are like the only thing I'm buying now are Mawashis. That's it. Like, and that's because I just flip them.
Yeah,
that's it. No more stuff. Did you guys grow up with soul music? My mother was born in the 30s, so I just listened to nothing but soul music growing up. So I missed jazz because she hated jazz.
What?
Yeah,
Damn.
Absolutely hated it. She loved blues, hated jazz.
They kind of
was like
I don't know. They're blues and jazz are like
okay.
Cousins. So it's different timing.
You can say that though, but it's almost like it's like R&B and rap. You can like one without the other.
Yeah, I suppose
right?
so. I suppose so. Yeah.
I mean, I'm personally not the biggest blues fan, but I love jazz, so
okay,
I can definitely get the perspective.
Yeah.
I appreciate blues, but on a regular, I'd listen to more jazz. But I enjoy a good blues band, and a lot of these country dudes, as of late, the Chris Stapletons of the world, are they? That's not even country. I'm like, bro, those are blues, like blues rhythms, blues notes, blues. It's like blues arrangements. You just sound country.
They're two sides to the same tree,
Yeah.
Because they both branch off from the same root.
Speaking of trees, let's do something new.
Tell him no, 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 no. Tell him no, 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 no. You've been trying to cater to all their needs. You've been feeling guilty for so long. Baby, they're not friends, they are enemies. Don't you tell them yes, tell them get lost. Cause every time you go and ask for help, they say sorry, but I'm busy. So you end up doing it yourself. Ooh, hold up, baby, don't take it. In a friendship, if they just fake it, you don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. Hold up, baby, don't stress it. It ain't worth it, ain't want it.
All right. So welcome to Black in Sumo. I am JJ Jones, and my co-host today is
Justin.
Nice. And then Darius, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Darius Campbell. I'm co-founder and head coach of Ohayo Sumo Association. It's a pleasure to be on with you guys.
Nice. The first time I met you, it was at your tournament during COVID. I want to say at the Powerhouse in.
That was the first time you met him.
Yeah.
Wow.
2021, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So Christina and I were like really stressed out, and we had like California like shut down hard, like
That's true.
really,
That's true. Yeah.
really hard. And
Texas was like, fuck it.
yeah. Well, we wanted to eat a burger and go to a restaurant indoors, maybe, possibly. Like, I don't even think we had outdoor ideas in California at that time. And then we got there and we got burgers, and it was chilly. It was nice. We went to, we stayed in Miamisburg and got burgers out there at the burger stand, Burgers Hut, burger something.
Burger Wagon.
There it is, Burger Wagon. And those things are good. Those things are real good. Real good. Yeah, and then you know, I mean, the reason why I did that tournament was because I was having issues with my own sumo. I did the 2020 Sumo National, or 2020 US Open, and that was like Andrew's like COVID tournament where people didn't test what he said people test. And we went out there and I lost every match but one, because I was just, everything was off. Everything was off. And I was like, man, I need to get a crew, and we're going to fly out to Ohio. And I stayed in the house. 4 people were supposed to go. Me and Christina were the ultimate, the only people that went. But it was super fun. In the tournament, like, I had so much fun. It was good to see you, get to meet you. Didn't spend a lot of time, but you know, it was one of those. I was like, hell yeah. Sumo's black.
Yeah.
I think at that tournament, what, me, you, Darius, Corny, and one of that really big dude,
Mitchell.
I forget his name, Mitchell. Yeah, that was about. Oh, and Christina, of course. Yeah, sorry.
And Eros.
Eros was there. Yeah.
Oh my God, she was there.
Yeah, because Christina and Eros had like that epic back to back.
Oh,
Christina took home a torn retina, and I messed with her for like 3 weeks. I would just flash a light in the house, and she'd be like, "What the hell was that?" Like, I don't know. I don't know what that was.
Well, me, Darius, I think the first time you and I met, I think it was up in somewhere in that Midwest Nationals 2017. I think it was.
So the first time I met you at my first ever event, which was the 2018 US Sumo Open.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was okay.
And
I guess it was that one.
It was me, my mom, and my grandparents came out because it was my first event. And you were their first black and sumo moment. So they were like, oh, there's actually other people in the sport.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, they still remember you. They're like, yeah, the one with the glasses.
Wait, was this Justin walking around with his little camera taking photos?
Hey.
Probably.
He was pretty in his zone, though.
Yeah, I had a beard, like I that was my little phase of rocking a full beard like yours, Justin. That, well, both of y'all motherfuckers. But then I had to get out of that. I had to cut it off. It got annoying.
And it just wasn't meant for you, dog.
It clearly wasn't. But I thought it was. It looked good. I thought it looked good. But it was also something I was like, you know, I should just probably shave. And then haven't looked back since. Now I put a little something, but I could have sworn, Darius, that you and I met at Nationals at what was that city at that 2018? The city.
Oh, that was St. Joseph's.
There you go. I was
Kansas
like,
City.
Yeah. We were somewhere in the Midwest. I was just like, where the fuck are we? It was freezing cold. I remember the hotels were terrible. I think somebody's room looked like somebody got murdered in it.
Oh yeah.
That was a very interesting year.
Was that the one that you had a jacuzzi in your room?
Yes. Wait, no. Yes. Wait, yes. Yeah. Boy, that shit was dope.
Yep.
Yeah. Yo, so JJ doesn't know about that one, but that year I had, for some reason, like in St. Petersburg or whatever, it was a little shit hotel, but for whatever reason, one room, which was my room, had a jacuzzi. It was very weird. This was and so we ended up having a little after party at the I won't give all the details, but it was pretty crazy. And I think
I was in the chat, or there was a Facebook message group,
okay.
and I was involved in it because I was supposed to fly out, and I ended up not going, but I had to remove myself from that chat because just the wind up of people trying to party, man,
it got wild because Gabe at the time, I don't know if he is now, but Gabe Unick was a bartender, and this motherfucker, like, out of nowhere, he like made Jello shots. I don't know how he made Jello shots, but he made them, and they were there. Fucking Tom going around serving them and shit, and we were doing. It was wild, fucking, and even like. I'm not gonna put the man out there, but somebody took edibles. And was frozen. You know, Darius. He was sat frozen on the edge of the bed. We were like, "Damn, are you okay, Doc?" And he was good. He just kept. He would nod every now and then, and you just left him there. We were in, then we tried to see how many sumo wrestlers you could fit in the jacuzzi, and it was shit got interesting. it was
a Trent caliber story.
And yeah, Trent woke up. We woke up at like I don't know what time in the morning. Trent's ass. I still got a picture of it, naked in the the hot tub with a cowboy hat on. And I said, it was a very Trent thing to do. I was just like,
yeah,
God damn. I woke up like Helen next to me, and then Trent over there like half naked in the jacuzzi. I was like, it was a good night.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, like, because there wasn't much else to do in town, really. Yeah.
Dude, it was freaking freezing. Like, it was, you had the hotel, and then the stadium was walking distance, and there was like, I don't know if was it like a minor town or what.
Yeah, it's like a minor town off of Kansas City. But
yeah, bro, there was not much to do, so we were just getting fucking faded in the hotel.
Yeah.
That shit was fun. Oh,
yeah.
Sumo used to be wild. It still can be.
I think it is in Dallas.
And here, that's for Dallas Colton still holds the torch.
Austin, you guys are mild in comparison to Dallas. Like, don't get me wrong. For me, I enjoy the Austin party, right? I'm like, because I don't drink, I just kind of hang out, and then I drift around and I do my thing, and it's all good. Dallas, that looks like a marathon of
Dallas is
athletes.
Wild. Yeah. Them motherfuckers is wild. They're not even, I always tell them they're not a club. Like, they're just like they're a band. Like, I want them to have a tour van that says Dallas Sumo Club, and they just tour like they're, performing in a band and party like a rock star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the Corey way. I always have to pick and choose my battles with Corey. That motherfucker, he just be like, "Oh, come on, Justin, you gotta come out." And like the deviant in me is like, yes. But the old ass adult man in me is like, you should probably go home. And I fight that battle literally every time I'm in Dallas.
I can definitely get that vibe.
But you guys,
you're like a chill dude, right? And
he's super chill.
Yeah, like I can't imagine you partying like them. But we all have moments.
He'll go to the party, but he ain't like us. He ain't doing like going too wild. But he's there. You know what I mean? Like chilling. But some people just go a little too hard.
Yeah.
Darius, what got you into sumo?
I was just watching an anime. It was called Notori Matsutoro, which is I think in English it's Rowdy Sumo Wrestler Matsutoro.
Yes.
And so I'm watching that. I'm probably like 13, 14, and they just start using a whole bunch of terms I'm not familiar with. You know, Juryo, Ozeki, Yokozuna, all the different movement drills, Butsukari, Shiko. And so just being who I am, I want to do a deep dive to understand it better. So I start watching Jason's All Sumo channel, and just from there I picked it up and just fell in love.
How old are you, Darius?
I am 25, be 26 this year.
The fuck?
So young.
98 baby. Yeah.
Darius. Wait a minute. Wait, when you were partying with me, were you well, were you 20?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say this. So
I didn't partake in any of those things, so it wasn't.
But you was under 21. Holy, my brain has you somewhere slightly younger than me, like a JJ's, because you're so chill. Like you are way too chill to be 25.
Yeah.
Like you are as for your as ADD as your generation is, you look like you have a full-on mortgage. I don't know. And
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Why all these
generation's
years I didn't know
interesting
that? I put you in your because you're like the chill factor about you when we have conversations is it's not like the conversations that I have with like Edo or something, but like when I like
Edo's a hard conversation.
Yeah, but like weird. Oh, that makes me even cooler, man. I appreciate that even more. Sorry, I had you as a grown ass. I mean, you are a grown man, but I'm just saying I had you.
Right.
I had you in your mid-30s, my dude. I had you.
Hey, it happens frequently. But I'm just a chill, laid back person. I just
cool,
be me.
man.
That's it.
Yeah.
How did you start Ohayo Sumo?
Good question.
So I got into like watching it in 2014. I did my first tournament in 2018 because like I was still underage at the time. And my mom just did not think I was going to do this. Like she was like, I'm not paying all this money to fly out to Cali, and then you like chicken out of it because I was like social anxiety, which is a lot better now. But at the time, it was really bad.
You could have been killing it in 2014. Wow.
Yeah, so I was even talking to John Gunning at the time.
Okay.
Back then, because I wanted to go over to Japan. I mean, I wanted to go over until I aged out. But again, it was kind of just not having the experience, and then not being able to get out to the tournaments because I'm in pretty much a dead zone out here. The closest clubs to me when I found sumo was like Grand Rapids, which is 5.5 hours north. You got Atlanta, which is 7 hours south. Kansas City is probably like 10, 11 hours west of me. So it's like there
was a Kansas City back in the day when I first started, and they kind of like they came to one. I think they came to that tournament, that first one that I met you at. Like they had like 2 wrestler girls. I guess all of them had wrestler backgrounds because they came in like singlets and everything, and I was like, oh, cool. Okay, well, Kansas got a little some. And the dude who was their coach was an old school sumo guy, and I think that was
talking about 901 sumo or something. Was that out of Memphis or something?
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's Tennessee. My bad. But anyway, somewhere in the Bible Belt. But yeah, and then they. Have you ever seen them again? They just disband after that nationals, and like you just.
Yeah, I think I saw their coach at the at the North Americans in 2021. I think he was like one of the side judges.
He did come. Damn good.
But I think that's the only time I've seen it.
Yeah. Oh snap! Yeah, so he's in the world. I wish he would, get back into sumo more, but such his life.
Yeah.
But back when you started sumo, man, like the Midwest, like there was nothing.
Yeah, there wasn't anything.
It was sparse. Like it was heavily concentrated on the West Coast, and the East had a history. New York and stuff had a history with Yanni and all of them, but like that was on its last leg. And I think Helen, Ed, what's his name, with all that had all the tattoos that used to train with Ed,
Mark Lawrence.
Yeah, Mark Lawrence.
Yeah.
That was the last of the breed of East Coast for a hot minute. But now y'all Midwest, dude, I went to that Nashville one, y'all, and I was just blown away by the level of organization and the level of camaraderie that and the amount, the level of talent. And Yama's there as well, and so a lot of that kind of bleeds into, and you could tell how his presence has completely resonated into the Chicago guys and other people, like, and y'all are.
Well,
I'm
even
like,
before all of that, Ohio was cooking, right? Like, with Big Book. So back into how all that started.
Yeah, so
the association.
I'm just chilling by myself out here. I'm going to tournaments basically to get training in because I don't have anyone to wrestle with. So, I'm kind of just a lone man out here. And I ended up getting in touch with a guy named Robert Foles, who runs Big Sumo Fan. And he happened to live like 10 minutes from me, never knew. And so we got together and we started talking, and because he didn't really know the amateur scene, right? So, I'm trying to explain the amateur scene to him. And this is about, probably August, September of 2019. And then I guess he was in a sumo group on Facebook that I wasn't a part of. And he said, hey, there's this guy in Northern Kentucky, which, is right across the river. And
Jake Book.
So Jake Book. And so we link up. We have a practice in my backyard.
Hell yeah.
Robert Foles films it. And then me and Jake are just having match after match. And, from then on, we had a bond and a shared love of sumo, the tradition, the spirit of it. And
I miss him.
We kind of just, put it together from there, and kind of just through word of mouth and just reputation started adding people into the fold,
Yeah, y'all got a crew, and now you got that beautiful Japanese dojo. Like, I mean, for those who haven't seen it, please go watch Ohayo Sumo's any one of their feeds, because their place is gorgeous. Like,
it is gorgeous.
You walk into a place like that and you're just like, okay, all right, like you're in the presence, the aura, I don't know, whatever.
You get the vibe, you get the spirit of the place,
Yeah.
And
it's not just
great.
some sterile walls, like and mats. You know what I mean?
Right, and it's not like a Mick dojo either. Like the guy who runs it, Suksindu, he actually he's been to Japan several times, and he actually got to train with Asashoryu, Yokozuna Asashoryu.
Hey, wow!
And so he was already a fan of sumo, and so it kind of just was like a match made in heaven. He was all about it. Giving us a shot because, of course, with the attire of sumo and some of the fringe, look of it, some places won't even give you a shot to train at their place.
Oh
yeah.
So having a guy who already knows what it's about, knowing it's serious in what it is, you know,
Yeah.
letting us in and letting them use his space, and really supporting us in that way is a great help to us.
Nice. Yeah, for the for a lot of people out there, you see a lot of the sumo clubs and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't understand how hard it is sometimes to keep to get a place and maintain a place for to practice. I mean,
Right.
and this this happens with with everybody, and and luckily, because we went through some bad ones. We went through one bad one. Even during the pandemic, was sharing a space with a yoga teacher. And we were at a CrossFit gym that was really tiny, and the lady was crazy, and she was way too much, and I'm just like, you know what? I broke the lease just because of her attitude. It was just, we weren't welcomed pretty much. And it was just like, she just needed $1 because the pandemic was so hard post pandemic. And then we found our current place that it's got that same feel. It's more of a Budokan, where it's a bunch of different Japanese martial arts. Same vibe as your place. But I mean, yours is way cooler. But the key is that she understood. She has been to Japan and watched sumo. The owner, she's the head of the Aikido school there. There's also Kyudo, which is Japanese archery. And
is it the one that always does demonstrations at your?
Yes.
tournament?
Yes.
Oh,
we're all fans.
You built that relationship. That's really cool.
Yeah. And so, but before I got into that place, I had already built a relationship with the Aikido people and stuff. And so they kind of gave reference. They referenced us to her because we were looking for a place, because I was like, I'm so done with this CrossFit chick. I can't, you know what I mean? But it's tough. And for those who, I just want to say, my point is, those who are starting sumo and clubs are popping up everywhere, just know that it is, sometimes it can be tough. A lot of the more established MMA gyms, like the vibe of that might not work out, because a lot of the attitudes in that world is you're doing BJJ, or you're doing the only other thing that we have on that program, and it's this obscure thing.
I'll challenge you a little bit on it, only because I'm in a jiu-jitsu gym, right?
You're a special case.
Yeah, I understand I'm a special case, but there is a different mentality with MMA people, and then a dedicated martial art, right? Now, jiu-jitsu, it sometimes it goes a little bit more towards the MMA, but if they're a gi jiu-jitsu, they're more open-minded, right? Because that's more or less the dying art of it. But if they're the ADCC, the no-gi, the 10th planet style, you're probably going to have a harder connection.
Yeah, forget about it.
Right?
You will not get in.
I when I moved to LA, I lived in LA for 5 years, somewhere along those lines, before I started sumo. And I went there and I was already established in jiu-jitsu. I've already done judo for many years, and I was just trying to find a gym. And ultimately, I went to 10th Planet and trained with Eddie Bravo at his gym. Only because the price was the most affordable. It was $100 a month. $100 a month, and wild. I get unlimited. Right? Yeah. If I wanted to go to Cabrinha or any of those other ones, or if I wanted to go to Van Nuys and train with Hamula Bahal, it would have been this is why it was a spit on my face. It was $270 for 3 days a week, $290 for unlimited. That's a spit in my face. I can't, that's not doable. It's not doable. I'm not going to spend that money. So I spent $40 a month doing judo, because it's set with the federation. All you have to do is have your federation card and pay whatever their monthly things. It's in a Buddhist temple, boom. and then I did 10th Planet so that I was still doing jujitsu. But
Okay.
even with that,
Okay.
I never really meshed well with them, right? They were like,
I've rolled with 10th
they
Planet
party
a
a little too much. And when I say
smoke
party,
a
it's
lot of
like
weed.
when I want to train, I'm just getting after it. They're like, oh, let's smoke weed and blah blah blah. And it only takes you getting that one pothead, and you're trying to do complicated moves, and they're like, it totally killed it. And so that wasn't
Planet. Yeah, the 10th Planet, and it doesn't matter. I've been to 10th Planet in LA, and also as soon as I got here, I was still trying fucking with my BJJ kick, and so I went to 10th Planet over here.
Yeah.
It's a culture.
Yeah, and you'll never get.
And I'm just not. I'm not into
You'll
it.
never do sumo.
They don't get it. It's
even
it's
though
fine.
they're weird, and you would think like sumo is welcoming to weirdos, like right, like look at Justin, look at me, like we're weirdos. That's just what we are. I'm like OCD, ADD, always looking to pursue to keep moving forward. It's all craziness. Justin's like his own creature.
Well, thanks. All right.
It's more of a compliment than an insult, because you're very artistic and you like really have your own spirit, and you don't really care what anybody thinks of you ever, right?
That is fair.
Oh yeah. So from there, it's like sumo welcomes in all of that, right? And then sumo welcomes in people like I think out of all of the martial arts and combat sport groups that I'm in, we're the most welcoming to women. We're the most welcoming to trans athletes. We're the most welcome to anybody. If you're like a nerd that only wants to be in front of a computer, you're welcome. If you're like a psycho meathead, you're welcome. You're welcome if you're 700 pounds. You're welcome if you can do matawari. You're welcome if you weigh 85 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, there is a spot for you. There is a spot for you, and I don't think that's
just not in the
that's
BJJ
not everywhere.
Culture.
It's not it, but it's
okay. I'm sorry. The no-gi world, the 10th Planet world.
It's terrible. I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's bro culture. Like I see those guys. The only place that I went to, and shout out to my boy Derek, Dark Clan. Before he closed his place, me and him met at the 2018 Worlds for Jiu-Jitsu, and we vibed instantly. I was like, "You're the only one who's not a douche here." And
I met him in 2016 when I hopped in a van and I started traveling around the U.S. when I was trying to figure out where I was going to relocate. And I got stuck in Dripping Springs. So then from there, I'm like, well, let me go ahead and train in Austin. And I ran into him. He was at like a MMA yoga spot with a giant fan on it. Really dope dude. Really dope dude.
He's so cool. I'm sad that his place closed, but my point was that he embraced me, like he took me in, and I was doing some jiu-jitsu with him just to keep a foot, a little toe still in that world, but also he was super open and super down for sumo. That was the first time ever that I and I didn't even bring it up to him like that. Like I wasn't trying to like sell it to him. He just knew I did sumo, and he was like, "Yo," and he's like, "Okay, so we're gonna like," and he kind of catered certain moves that when him and I would roll for sumo, and he's like, "Oh, here's some takedowns that you could do without dropping a knee and blah blah blah," and I was like, it was such a respect level for the two martial arts, and that's why that was the first Consulates Cup actually was at Dark Clan, and so he was so open to it. I did a seminar, and BJJ guys were coming out to do the seminar, which is how I got Mr. Chad, and that was a one vibe I got, the one place that like where the martial arts had like synergy again, and I was like, cool. All of BJJ has not as a whole has not gone by the wayside and turned into savages, and so
The big
Darius,
one for me is like, do they respect the do part of Bushido? You know, the way.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, it's kind of hard for them to respect the other martial arts as much.
it depends how close they are to the source, right? Because when you look at jiu-jitsu, right, and we're talking about Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is a marketing name in itself, it should really be called Brazilian judo, because Count Kama, who taught the Gracies, was a judoka. He was a traveling street fighter judoka. That was his thing. So if they understand like their lineage, so my lineage is I come from Saulo Ribeiro. Saulo was trained under Hoyler, and you know, so it's like right there, we're real tight in. And so judo was a strong fundamental, like it had to be a part of it, and you can't go through judo without understanding the do, you know.
Man,
I mean,
thank you, dude. You got.
I mean, that's one of the big differentiators in sumo, I feel, is because it is so steeped in history and the culture, and then it hasn't been as commercialized as most of the other Japanese martial arts have.
Yeah,
so
true.
It's been able to retain a lot more of its traditional values.
Yeah.
Most of your judos, your karate, things of that nature, because they've been so commercialized. And
well, I would also say commercialized, but globalized.
And
it's more globalized. So once you do that, you have to stay in a gray zone.
But I mean, even when when you have it start, you have the guys who had to gain and earn the respect of the teachers in Japan, and so they brought it over here with a lot of respect and understood the culture with it. Is when you start getting into where it's getting more popular in film and television and in like sports market, like UFC and stuff, that I think you see sort of like the switch towards more of a bro culture, or a more or less negative culture, in my opinion. But
well, so I always piggyback off. I think that's the role of the oyakata, the senpai, the sensei. That's their job to keep it like in line, right? Yeah. Like judo,
and it's a constant maintenance.
When I teach judo, I teach literally Kodokan judo. Like, this is what we are doing. You can compete with this if you want, but my sensei learned from Mifune. So, like, my lineage is tight, and you guys have to know all the throws, all the little fine details of it, and it's going to take you forever. I haven't promoted a black belt in judo yet, and I've been a black belt for 12 years, right? And it's one of those things, you're going to have to be able to do everything, because my sensei passed during COVID, and I don't want him looking down and being like, oh, look at this punk bitch, right? Like, he was old school. Like, we don't play. If you can't handle a test, you can't understand like what Uchimata Skoshi is. Like, what are you doing? You're like, you can be a good competitor, you can be a world champion, and yet not know shit about judo. Right. And I think that's the same in sumo, right? Like there is a path for that, right? You look at some of like, I love our Eastern European brethren, right? They're out there, they're fantastic at sumo, but if you can't do churichosa, then what are you doing?
They completely bypass a lot of the basics. They're trying to hybridize. Like they're trying to hybridize the sport of sumo, just like what basically what MMA kind of did. And I do appreciate that some of the older heads and in the IFC are pushing back on that, because if you let a lot of the shenanigans that have been going on, if you let that slide, that's fast evolution into something that doesn't even look like sumo anymore.
Right.
And yeah, not a big fan of that.
And when you have the senseis who teach the stuff and you know, guys who keep a line, they kind of, the bad apples kind of weed themselves out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, they do.
And
yeah,
you know,
I always say it's a constant maintenance.
Yeah, and I'm like, we have people in this community, in the sumo community, that do a really good job, I feel, holding a standard of what. And so a lot of the bad apples, they kind of find their way out. They
kind of get pushed like out of it.
One of the guys I think doing some of the best work for sumo, and he has like a full region that's all his, right? And it's this gentleman.
Hey, Dad, look at that thickness. Why is he got
Who put the do-rag on him though?
Look at that cornbread.
Well, you guys were out there while he was competing at where was that? The Sakura Cup. And he was looking for a satin hood since he's a bald man. As a bald man, Darius, I see you. We understand that, you know, you have to have a layer or you're just going to get those little flakies all over the place, right? So I think this is the answer. I think this is the answer.
That's beautiful. And look at Sosalon right there in the background of that. That's him right there. Sosalon. Shout out. Old school. Wow. Yeah,
I mean, me and Corny have worked a lot together. You know, the Sin City tournament and camp was a collaboration effort between us. So we did the first one in 2018. We had our first one. It was kind of just like a joint practice between me, him, and then Marky and John Mauser came out from Pittsburgh, Morgantown area, and it kind of just blossomed from there. But you know, so definitely a lot of respect. I think everyone has a positive and good Corny story. You know, and he's, you know, he's really embedded in the American culture of it.
For a while, you and Corny were pretty besties. He was struggling at the time, like in Florida, like struggling to really like try to like push it and grow it, because I think he only had like two people that he would train with and whatnot. And I think, you know, he gravitated towards you, and y'all were really, like you said, with Sin City and stuff like that, y'all were really like kind of like melding minds and making up events and tournaments at that time, and it paid off. It paid off.
I mean, I think we made a good duo, because I'm very calm, collected, and you know, Corny
could be a spaz.
So you know, I would say half my job when I would do those camps and tournaments with Corny was just keeping him from overthinking the situations. But you know, it is what
that is an ongoing battle. I think I speak with that man probably once a week, where he's like spazzing out about something, and I'm just like, Corny. He's just like, look, we've got to do blah blah blah, and you're just like, Corny, you're good, my dude. You're fine. Here's what we're gonna do, and so we have little weekly check-in pep talks. Which is hilarious.
The other thing I was going to say is, like, if
people always think I just rag on them.
Yeah, but as far as growing a club and stuff, the other thing I would say is, you know, like, consistency. So, like, if you're not consistent, people aren't going to think you're legit.
They stop showing up.
So I'm like, you know, we have a couple of really great guys, you know, Ben Lacey for the Dayton club. And
I love Ben Lacey.
I do too.
And then Hunter Williams for our Indiana branch. You know, they're consistent. They're like, if I'm the only person who shows up, I'm showing up. I'm gonna open the gym, and it's gonna be there. You know, and when you have that consistency, you know, it shows to everyone else you're serious, and it allows them to come and know all right, on this day we're doing sumo, and that's what we're doing. So
Yeah.
that's another key. Don't just assume that if nobody's coming, I shouldn't do it. You have to set the example of what you want everyone else to do.
Bro, prime example, today out in the goddamn park, I'm sitting there just sitting solo for a long ass. I was like, and sometimes it'd be like that. And I understood. I knew one of my students had COVID and somebody else had some work stuff, blah blah. But then one of my out of nowhere, like I was just like, man, I'm about to wrap it up. Like I should just, we had this to do, and I was like, I'm just gonna go home. But no, one of my students he had been away for at least the last 6 to 8 months or whatever, just pops up out of nowhere, and we had a good ass time. Emmanuel, I don't know if you ever met Emmanuel. He was at the Consulates Cup last year. Did that was his first
Josiah ever come back?
So I'm very excited because Josiah is making a comeback. This fool has been. He was like his arm healed. But he's like, he gives me like at least a monthly check-in, and when he's just like, dude's trying to beast up. Like he doesn't want to be. He was already skinny strong, but that dude and so he had such high potential, and so I'm ready for him because he was a freak of nature for how skinny he was. But he was like Justin, I want to hit that, like I want to get to your mass level, like at the top of lightweight. He's like, I don't want to be 160, 170. He was like, no, I want to be the full thick 180 something. I was like, okay, so be ready for him when his journey brings us back. But like you said, with consistency, just even though you might not even want to do it that day. Maybe you don't want to lug, go all the way to the park or wherever you have class and stuff, but you show up and you deal with who comes, but as long as you have that consistency and say, no matter what, hey, I'm here, whether you show up or not, I'm here. And you can
only control what you do. You can't control what other people do. And so as long as you come into it with the right attitude and the right fortitude in your actions, I think everyone else will see that. And the ones who are interested in it will gravitate towards it.
Yeah. Also, I want to give a shout out to your boy. You're one of your students who him and I just had, just created a bromance because I like him a lot. TJ.
Okay. Yep. TJ Moore. Yep. We went to high school together. So
shut the fuck up. Yeah. Small world. Yo, that's my dude. Like we kind of bonded in Nashville, and then he came to what do you call it? To Roller Dallas. Town. Yeah, he came to Roller Town. Yeah. But in Nashville, we kicked it. And him and Buffalo Man and the Canadian dude, we're just like chilling. I finally made, outside of you, Darius, and Booker and Gabe, I finally made a real Midwest connection. Some people, you see some people. I mean, of course, we know everybody, but I mean, like that cool, when you have that the chill moment where it's like, all right, I fuck with you, like kind of thing.
Yeah, we're on the same plane,
Yeah. So shout out to TJ.
That is good. Like when I see a person that I always have this weird mental blockage. Like I didn't think Justin liked me at all. That's just where I was at. I don't know why, but that's just it. And don't worry about it. I know. But okay. Same thing with Dylan. But when I see Dylan, I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Like he makes me happy because his Tachia is so aggressive. And I'm like, I just want to hang out.
Dylan Biggs.
Huh? Dylan Biggs.
Yeah, one of my guys.
Yeah.
Dylan has that kind of standoffish face. He always has that don't talk to me face. But he's cool as shit.
I mean, he's a West Point graduate and he's in law school now. So, I mean, he has that presence about him. But as far as most of my lightweights go, I always used you as the example Justin, because I remember I did Butsukari with you at the 2018, what was it, the Georgia Sumo Open.
Yeah.
And so I'm just opening up, and I'm like, all right, you know, lightweight. And when you hit me, I was like, oh, this is a real tachi. It's not, And you know, that's just a great thing to see, you know, because
I'll say your boy is the hardest hitting tachi I have ever gotten from a lightweight, and I'm talking across the United States. I think only what's his name, Batir Altiev from Russia hit me harder. That is the only other person, and Batir is the GOAT for lightweight.
Right.
You know what I mean? But your boy has a tachi. He's got a tachi that, and usually I'm wild. I'm fucking head first. I'm just like, bah!
Right.
He's the only dude that makes me hesitant on my head first tachi, because I'm like, damn, this is, if we meet heads, the force that he comes off, I don't know that I want that. And so I have sometimes second guessed and just gone a slightly higher than him, and then just eat it. Like I was like, that's usually me doing that.
Yeah, him and his twin brother Nick.
Oh, Nick is wild. He's always injured.
They both have such an aggressive style, but in a good way. I love it, you know.
Yeah, that's that Midwest wrestling. That's y'all.
Nick's got that violence in him. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, he'll go at you, but it makes for some great matches. And you know, I always say it toughens up the guys, because if you don't experience someone like that in practice, when you face it in the field, it's going to be rough. Yeah,
they are out there. Exactly.
And that's why, like, I don't know which one. It was one of the Grand Rapids tournament where there was like an issue with the face slapping, and I was like, I don't think we should really punish that until the IFS starts punishing it,
because it's at Worlds. You don't want to get to Worlds and be like, well, everybody's gonna play by the rules today. Yeah.
There was a really good match where they actually had to. I mean, it was less of a. It was Finland against Brazil, and it was
Finland,
Alex.
He went
hard. His hands were closed. That's the fucking problem. It started off, and he was like bop, 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 and then his hands started closing. And and so they stopped it, and then they restarted, and then he did it again, because you know, ultimately, you can't adjust your spirit, right? That's what sumo is. Sumo is just an expression of your spirit, and you're going to go out there and do what you normally do. He must have got all the way from wherever he was training to the being the champion in Finland, doing the same thing. Right? You can't change it on that point, especially on the clay, elevated in Japan, in the middle of Tachikawa. Everybody's looking at you. You're fighting a guy from Brazil who, like, 70 people flew out to go cheer him on. Like, that's just it. Sick. Whatever you are is what you are at that point. That's it. That's all you got.
And then the other thing with sumo is, like, it's such a short time period in the ring. You don't have like that clock where you can sit and strategize. It's like you have to come into that match.
Yeah, muscle memory.
What you're gonna do? Yeah,
it's just your muscles go on autopilot.
You think you always go traditional, Darius?
Do I always go traditional? It depends.
When you started,
I actually So when I first started, I didn't, because my first was like in front of 5,000 people.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. And then I didn't know anyone, so I'm like, who am I going to ask to tie me up? So I was like, But, you know, Courtney got me, and I was like, you know, I'll do it. You know, I because my goal at the time when I started sumo was to eventually go pro, go to Japan, and
so you had to get used to that shit.
So, you know, and personally, I actually like it better than shorts. Because for one, I think the mawashi is looser when you have shorts on. Like, it doesn't your skin is tight.
Thank you.
It also the like the thong part doesn't stay.
No,
it
right.
travels around. So
you-
for me, if I wear shorts, so I normally wear shorts in practice. When I compete, I always go traditional. That's just where I'm at. But I can't wear spandex, like those spandex shorts or whatever, because there's no
your junk
friction.
kind of,
So
your junk
No,
goes
it's
boop.
just everything's flying around. I don't like it. So I just wear fucking underoos, regular ass underoos. So they need to be caught.
And then one of my, I've watched a few matches. One of them was with my guy Man Deep from the UK.
Deep.
And you know, I've seen a couple of matches where, you know, people have grabbed his shorts in the match and utilized them. And so I'm like, so now you not only don't have as secure a Mawashi, but now you're giving your opponent something else to grab onto. And so that's where I'm at with it. But I'm for whatever gets you comfortable enough to try it. You know, we even have some guys who, you know, they don't have a lot of body confidence coming into it. And so they might want to wear their shirt. And I'm like, that's cool, you know, because I want you to experience it, have fun with it. And then you can build that up because you can see that this community is so open and so accepting that you don't have to feel uncomfortable. And, you know, a lot of people I know gain a lot of body confidence doing sumo.
100%. I mean, look at my boy, was Hayden. When Hayden first started, he's a little shy boy, didn't really speak much, and just really just like introverted, antisocial, and like then and just sumo has blossomed his personality. Homeboy walks around the bar, like, you know, and I assume, you know, Dallas being a very extroverted club, it kind of it fosters that. And homeboy just, you know, he'll walk around the bar with a cowboy hat on and just his Mawashi, zero fucks. He's so like, and I love that shit because like Hayden's got such swag right now. Like dude is like, I loved seeing that blossom. And that story is told, you know, a bunch of times because there's so many people. I mean, even Kyle Fairder used to be a little shy boy, and now he's a dick. Ed, shy boy,
shy boy. Now he's
too much.
Yes.
I mean, it just gives you a safe space. Sumo's a safe space for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's all the freaks and weirdos.
Yeah. I'm like, you build a good community. You give people a safe space to be themselves, and you know you're able to build a great camaraderie that way.
Yeah.
And that's like my favorite thing about sumo, honestly, is the people. I'm like,
it is.
I've never been in a sport where people are so willing to help you, give you advice. You know, in the ring, yes, we're battling.
We fight hard. Yeah.
But as soon as the match is over,
that's my favorite part.
Back to being good. You know, so
I know.
You know,
the memories, the traveling, being in the middle of nowhere, you know, but still being in the middle of nowhere and still being able to like have awesome, great memories and just I try to like explain it to my wife, and I wish, you know, she would experience it with me, but like she's kind of like, that's your thing, but you know, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And you, JJ, we've been doing martial arts forever, and I go to BJJ tournaments, I go to judo tournaments, and then you go home. Like it's kind of you know, it's or you go with your club out to eat or something or whatever. But sumo's just like, man, we all just smash heads, and it's like where we all go. Like you don't get that in other tournaments, and I want to keep that. To me, that's sacred, and I don't want us to become MMA and stuff like that. We have these, you know, we have these amazing fighters, but it's just like zero personality, zero camaraderie. It's just I just want to take your head off in the ring. I really hope as this grows, it does not become that. And I don't
think it will ever become that. I think that it's always going to be its own special thing.
Thank God.
And it's because
Cheers to that.
of all the work that the generation before us did, everybody, and then the roots of it, right? It's the origin of martial arts in Japan, and it's a magical thing. Honestly, I think that this is the best spot to stop this. Darius, I'll see you in a couple weeks at Nationals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Darius.
Yeah.
Probably not, but
Okay.
I'll,
All right.
I'll be in the meeting though.
It's all right. All right.
I'll
No
tune in.
problem.
Yeah, with my arm, I just making a trip to
Oh,
San
you did
Diego.
mess up your arm. Yeah.
But it's gonna. We'll make sure that we'll get you in there, and we're already working on some stuff so people can see it remotely. Once again,
the guys will be out there, and I love being able to see the community. I hate that I'm missing what I like to consider the family reunion because we're together. But
you missing the function, baby.
Don't worry, Justin still needs to register. And with that, see ya.
Yeah.
Peace.
Oh, Justin, logo, Justin.
Logo and registration.